Alrighty, boys and girls, welcome to episode 30 of Sawdust Talk. I am filling in for Kyle as host this evening. I'm TJ. We are gonna have all of the cool kids popping in. Look, we got a Kyle, and who else is popping in? Ed is here. I know he's co-hosting with me. Macy's here tonight, and we have a delightful guest tonight in Scott from Scott's awesome scroll sawing complicated name to say Kick Buns Instagram page. So let's get some people in here. Macy is here. Let's add Ed. Where are you, Ed?
Hi.
There you are. Hey, Macy, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I am exceptional. I'm trying to get Ed in here and Scott, and we are going to get up and running. There's Ed. Look at you. Lightning quick. Scott is here as well. Perfection. All of the cool kids are here. The room is filling up quickly. Bad Shop Advice wants to know if they're co-hosting this evening. That's going to be really complicated for a lot of people. But we are glad to have everyone here tonight. You'll have to excuse my scruffy appearance. I am a last-minute fill-in for Kyle. He's got some kids that are feeling a little under the weather tonight. So this is going to be my formal welcome to all of 36 people that we have here tonight to Sawdust Talk, brought to you by George Supply Company. I just want to talk about how Scott over there does a phenomenal job helping the maker community, offering guidance and getting everybody coordinated with the website to sell merchandise and promotional products to keep your business growing. So, yeah, if we have a decent number of folks at the end of the show tonight. Hey, there he is. What's up, Scott? Thanks for joining us. If we got a decent number of people at the end of the show tonight, we'll do maybe like a $20 gift card to George Supply Company, because you guys are piling in tonight. That's awesome. All right. So I'm TJ with TJT Workshop. I do most of my woodworking on a lathe, making big old bowls like this guy back there. Do a little bit of metal work, located in St. Louis, Missouri. Ed, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself down there?
I'm Ed Mancini from Mancini Woodworking. I'm out of Louisville, Kentucky, and I do woodworking stuff. I do CNC stuff. I do furniture. I do little trinkets and flags and all kinds of stuff. So that's me.
Oh, that's awesome. Macy, tell us a bit about you.
I'm Macy. I'm out of Wiggins, Colorado. I am Sweet Pine Designs. I do signs and scroll work, laser work, and yeah, I like doing signs.
Very cool. And our guest du jour, I guess, guest of the evening tonight, Scott, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, and we're going to start cracking off questions after.
How's it going? I'm Scott McKenna from McKenna Scrollcraft. My Instagram handle's smckennaart. You can get into how that name came about a little later, but from South Florida. I do scroll saw work. I like fret work. The more complicated, the better. I do like detail work. I got a couple of pieces behind me right now.
That is awesome. It looks like everybody's coming in nice and clear also this evening. Are audio levels treating everybody okay? Just a quick check before we really get cracking off. Sounding good. Sounding good. Everybody sounds good on my end also. Very cool. All right, Scott. So I'm going to start with a nice little softball. Let's talk about your saws / your collection of gear. What are you working on? What have you worked on? And what do you like the best?
Right now I got DeWalt scroll saw, 20-inch. I mean, it's great. I got the upgraded Pegasus heads. I started with a skill saw, a skill scroll saw. It doesn't have the articulating upper arm or anything, so that's what I learned on. So with the movable upper arm, it makes a big difference when you're taking the blade in and out a million times.
billion times and trying to fish it through the tiniest hole. I
Yeah, I
gotcha.
actually got a micro bit set, drill bits. I mean, they're a lot smaller than a standard. 1/16 is the smallest that you get in a standard set, and these are like 1/32, so they're like half that size.
That is crazy. And then do you use like a handheld pin vise and just slowly work your way through it, or?
No, I just use a regular drill. Steady hand. I know a lot of people use a drill press, but
I gotcha. I think I was on a live. Oh God, this is probably getting on like 2 or 3. I honestly, time and space is incomprehensible to me at this point. But we were on with the midnight scroll her, and she's got like this itty bitty teeny tiny drill press jig, and I don't know what that apparatus is called, but I don't know if you've seen anybody else using it. It was probably the size of like a masonry brick, and you could just like.
That's the scroller's drill. I don't have one of those, but that's what it's called, is a scroller's drill.
It's a good name for it, I guess.
Yeah, I nailed it, right? Very cool. So it looks like people in the audience are already starting to put questions down in the question box down there. What the heck is this? Okay.
So I have a little bit real quick. So I've just been kind of like venturing into the world of scrolling because I know nothing about scrolling. And I've noticed more and more scrollers on Instagram. And when I came across your page, I was very much blown away because today was the first time I learned that spiral blades existed. And it literally blew my mind because I'm used to scrollers that like have to hurry up and turn it. And like, it looks like they're a DJ, you know, on the scroll saw. And when I was watching you scroll, I was like, holy crap. So
spiral blades are not easy either, so it is impressive.
Before you learned about the scrolling or the spiral blade, did you start with like the straight ones first?
I started with the spirals.
Oh.
The old skill saw that I got, it was a hand-me-down, and it had a pack of spiral blades with it. And that's kind of what I learned on. And then I tried to use the regular flat blades, and it was like trying to write with my left hand.
Wow.
Couldn't get it. And actually, like my background's kind of in art, like drawing and everything. And so I feel like it's more, I can adapt to the spiral blades a little bit more.
You make it look very easy, which is frustrating for the rest of us that would like to try it. And then like, what the hell? It's not how it looked on the video.
Yeah. Macy, what you got going on up there?
Do you make your own templates? How do you go about doing your templates? What kind of programs do you use? And
well, I'm kind of a cheapskate, so I use it's called GIMP. That's a free computer program you can download. It's kind of like a rip-off Photoshop, and I use a stylus and I kind of draw them out. I like if somebody gives me a photograph, I can transfer that into I can draw that into a pattern. But most of them I make myself. I'll get some from other designers and everything.
That's awesome. I noticed you sell some of them on Etsy, on your Etsy page too. So those are the ones that you created, the ones you drew?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'll draw them. I got like a rotating list of them. I put some on, take some off, but I usually have about a dozen of them on there.
What brought you into this world? This world of scrolling?
Well, like I said, I got a background in drawing, and I started getting into woodworking here and there, just kind of building some small stuff, maybe a table, kind of refurbishing some furniture and stuff. And I was getting some tools, and a buddy I went to high school with, his handle's actually Macquarie Custom Creations, and I saw him do some work with a scroll saw, and wow, man, how are you doing that? And he's telling me about the scroll saw, and then the hand-me-down I got from my father-in-law, and he said, this thing's too frustrating for me. You can have it. And so I just it fit
Kind of just
perfect.
meshed up.
Yeah.
So are you a paper template and double-sided tape kind of guy, or what's do you want to walk us without giving away too many trade secrets? Do you want to walk us through some of
I
what
like
you got
to
going on?
I like to share everything that I do. I enjoy seeing other people succeed and try to do what I do. So this is the one that I'm working on right now. This is
I saw that.
That's a paddle riverboat, but I use glue painter's tape, and then I glue the pattern down. I print it out on paper and glue it to the glue painter's tape, and then peel it off.
And what kind of material are you using?
Excuse me?
What kind of material are you using for that?
It's usually Baltic birch. That's what I typically use, 1/4 inch thick. It's sturdy. It doesn't splinter. It has no voids or anything in it. So that's pretty much the highest quality. It's my go-to.
Are you having issue getting Baltic birch in your area, or the price skyrocket?
It's available, but price is doubled in the past year.
Yeah.
Past 6 months.
All right. So on a project like your riverboat, right? I know that scroll blades, and I don't know that much about spirals other than being able to make pull cuts with them, but I know that the lifespan of working time for most scroll blades doesn't really exceed like a few hours for it to be especially sharp. How many blades do you think you're going to go through on something like that riverboat project?
I don't. It varies a lot. Honestly, if I'm having a good day, I can be patient and make a blade last a long time. They usually break before they get dull, just because I'm trying to rush and the tension and everything on them. But I'd probably go through maybe 6. It's
Okay.
I think it's 620 cuts on that one. So probably 100 cuts per blade about.
Mm.
And it's
how many hours do you have in a piece like that?
That's probably going to be about 18 hours.
Oh, so sorry. I just saw a comment on here that caught my attention from Illustrative Design, and it said, "I've wondered this, but wouldn't a CNC be better than scroll saws?" So let me just tell you, as someone who has a CNC, I cannot do what he can do with his scroll saw, because the CNC bits do not go that small. So if you can get something that can go as small as his blades, then I'd say maybe you have a chance. But no, you're not going to do that intricate kind of work with the CNC unless you have a laser.
Yeah, actually, I got asked at an art show one time. I was showing somebody how I do everything. He said, "Well, why don't you just use a CNC?"
Nope.
Well, ruin the fun. I come out here for fun.
That's also true too. Yeah. With the CNC, you push a button and you go, and there's design work involved and everything like that. But a CNC is usually for like doing that kind of stuff, and want to work on something else at the same time or whatever.
Yeah, and like the templates that I put on Etsy, I upload them in the PDF is the best file for scroll saw. I do. I forget the files for the CNC machine, but I do. So you can download those and use those on a CNC, a laser. It's all adaptable.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Macy, do you have anything else that you want to get in before we start poking around through we're already up to 12 questions and Ed's not in the chat, so we're going to have some juicy stuff down in there.
Do you have a favorite project that you've done in the past?
My favorite one how it came out was probably I did a lionfish You can see it in my Instagram. It came out pretty cool. I really liked it. I made 2 of them, but I sold those both the day that I finished them. I didn't get to hang on to either of them.
That's wild, man. So while I'm trying to pull up a question here, oh man, we got some juicy stuff in there. Do you think color is going to start getting incorporated into your work in the not too distant future?
It's funny you should ask. The one that I just finished most recently up there, it's a John Deere tractor, and I painted it green, partially because it fits. It's a John Deere green, and another part was like the Baltic birch is getting super expensive and hard to come by. I used just standard birch, and I did not like how it finished. So heavy sanding and paint hides all that.
All right. So top question on the list is what inspires you, or I guess maybe a little more specifically, where do you look for inspiration?
I go through phases. I like local stuff around here. I'm from Florida, and I like doing Florida stuff, Florida related stuff, animals and stuff. And then I went through a phase when I'm a big baseball fan, and spring training was starting up, and I drew a whole ton of baseball portraits. I did a whole ton of those patterns. I only cut out a couple of them, but I drew up a whole ton of them.
Nice.
That's rad. Macy, you want to pull one out of the hat or ask away?
Kyle from Hayden Customs asks, any desire to step outside of the scrolling world and tackle some traditional woodworking projects?
Yeah, I journeyed into some. Like I said, I've built some tables and stuff. I'd consider myself more of an artist than a woodworker, just because I'm learning the basics of woodworking as I go, but I know art a lot better. I'm a lot more comfortable making a picture than I am making a birdhouse.
Very cool. Ed, you want to ask or pull?
I've still yet to make a birdhouse. Maybe I need to add that to my list. Okay. So, what's the longest? This is from Tree Two Tail Woodco up in Canada, and he asks, "What's the longest scroll you have ever done?"
The longest one that's taken me was I did a picture of an old antique house in Fort Lauderdale. It's up there waiting to be framed right now. That one took it was about 18 hours, 20 hours.
Holy cow.
It had about the same amount of cuts as the riverboat.
I'm looking at that one right now, actually, on your page.
Dude,
So you had it colored in there. It was like blue and stuff in there? Or was that the background that it's sitting in?
Oh, that was peeling off the tape.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
All right. Actually, this one was something that I've had some struggles with myself, but Olive Orchard Furnishings wants to know, have you ever shipped from Florida to California or to remote locations, and you ever run into issues with moisture changes in shipping or when things reach their destination?
Not that I know of. I haven't had anybody mention anything. I haven't shipped to California. I haven't really shipped to any real dry places. I've shipped a bunch of stuff to northern states, but not like the Southwest region. So I don't.
Yeah, well, and I guess maybe with the ply, or if you're doing maybe an MDF project or something, those are pretty stable because of the changing grain patterns.
Yeah, and a lot of them I put a coat of polyurethane on top of, so it's usually pretty sealed.
Nice. Macy, you want to pull one out of the hat, or?
Why are you pointing at me?
What's your best or worst advice for somebody starting to scroll saw?
Best advice would be to not cheap out on a saw. I know there's a lot of what they call entry-level saws, but entry-level kind of insinuates that it's an easier thing to use, but they're actually harder to use. They have less bells and whistles and stuff. So you could buy the cheapest scroll saw that you can find, and you'd hate it because it's difficult to work with.
Well,
The best advice would probably be just patience. Just learn your rhythm.
gotcha. Ed, you want to pull one from the hat?
I don't know how to make them come up on the screen, but
I can do it. You just read them and I'll pull it up for you.
There's a question that's not on there. The question is from TJ at TJT Custom Woodworks. What is it? Your handle? Anyway, it's from TJ. He's over here for me. He wants to know if you own any woodpecker's tools and are they worth it?
I've never heard of that. I don't shop down that aisle.
If you didn't know, Woodpeckers has the best dust collection in the industry. If you didn't know, they're a little square, best dust collection in the industry, like hands down.
You guys are so goofy. Are we asking the goofy questions? Because I think I'm supposed to ask you on a scale from 1 to Citizen Kane, how great of a movie is the original RoboCop?
You know, I was expecting this question. I put a lot of thought into it. You know, I was at the age when I watched the original RoboCop and Terminator 2 within a month of each other. And Terminator 2 edges it out. Sorry.
I mean, every science fiction movie since Terminator 2 came out desperately wants to be Terminator 2. Couldn't agree with you more.
So TJ, on your scale, he's saying the answer is Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Yeah, I guess he is. And that's okay. You're welcome to your opinion, whether it's wrong or not. Macy, do you want to pull one out of the hat?
What is your dream project and or dream material to work with?
I don't really know. It changes all the time. I get an idea in my head. I'm like, that's what I'm gonna do. I focus a bunch of energy on it. I draw the pattern and then I do it. Like the house in Fort Lauderdale. Me and my wife visited it, and just the architecture there. It was just awesome, and I couldn't get out of my head. That's what I wanted to do, and so I drew the pattern. I cut it out, and then I move on to the next thing. So my dream project keeps changing. Right now, it's the riverboat. So.
And what about
That's
dream
awesome.
material? Have you worked with any hardwoods or?
I've worked with hardwoods. Hardwoods and spiral blades don't really mesh well, so I tend to stay away from them. I've used modified geometry blades on the hardwoods, but I love how hardwoods come out, but it using hardwoods with scroll saw, it can be tough.
Slows it down a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was just going to ask real quick. I've been drooling over that octopus project that you did a while back because I think it's awesome and it's like right on the edge of like illustrative but also photorealistic. Was that something that you just sat down and you were like, this is an octopus and I'm going to draw it? Or was this another one of your awesome tablet tracing who's-he what's-its?
It was, I had an idea. I was trying to get artsy rather than have the whole octopus like in the middle of a picture. I want an exploded view. I want it kind of just going off to the side, and I mean that pattern. I actually drew that pretty quick. I only drew that in maybe a couple hours.
No, that one is just rad. And then the other question I was going to ask you is about floating elements. And I think Macy can kind of touch on this a little bit too with her sign work, right? If you're doing text, you've got floating elements that sit on a background, but a lot of your stuff is sort of in relief in that regard, right? And you're cutting out holes and creating continuous shape. Do you ever find yourself? I mean, the leopard had stuff all over the place. Did that end up having to outsmart floating pieces?
Everything I pretty much do, it's got no floating pieces in it. That's one of my challenges that I try to give myself. I try to draw the pattern so it looks good, and it's all one continuous piece of wood. That's what I try and strive for. If I can't do it, then I don't even cut it out.
That's rad, man. Ed, you want to grab one out of the box?
So I have some side questions. You know me with my side questions. So one of them, so Bare Wood Supply. So it looks like you're affiliate of them. How did that come about? How did that relationship kind of form? And then what plans do you have for your YouTube channel?
Bare Woods, I've always ordered all my stuff from Bare Woods. They got great customer service and everything. And I just kind of got back and forth messaging their corporate side, and one thing led to another, and I started becoming an affiliate for them. And I mean, it's great. I mean, it's a great company. And all the other affiliates with them, everybody is a team. Everybody helps each other. They're the first people I message to ask a question like, hey, what should I do? What should I go this direction, that direction?
That's cool.
And what was the other part of that one?
What are your plans for your YouTube channel?
Oh, the YouTube channel is just, it's all just reels that I download and just post on YouTube. I really don't focus on the YouTube that much. I put up a couple of videos early on before I got better at editing, and I don't know. It's just reels. It's the shorts.
Gotcha.
It's the same with TikTok. I got a TikTok, and that's just copy and paste the reels on there. I spend most of my effort on Instagram. I like the platform. I like how everything works.
And it looks like your Facebook page is more towards the form of like trying to advertise and sell your products a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Macy, what you got going on over there?
What kind of Instagram accounts do you like to follow?
What I like to follow. I like to follow pretty much any scroll saw people. I really like the woodworking reel, the funny guys.
Bourbon Moth and
Yeah.
so you're talking about?
Yeah, and Jeremy Hicks. Who else is there? Cashwood. Those guys are hilarious. You could stay up all night just flipping through them.
That is very true, and I have been guilty of that also. That's not what we want. I was supposed to anyway. Let's see here. Woolly Petals has another follow-up, which is, where do you see your business in the next year?
I'd like to be doing more art shows, craft shows. I honestly don't really go at it as a business standpoint. It's more of I do it for fun. That's what I do to get my thrills, and as long as I can sell enough stuff to buy equipment, that's where I'm going with it.
Sure. And then are you a full timer? Are you a part timer?
Very
And then
part time.
gotcha. Do you want to talk about your day job at all?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm tie line automotive mechanic. I work on the expensive cars.
That's very cool, man.
Doing that for a little over 15 years now. So
I tell you,
Nice.
dude, it's harder and harder to outsource turning a wrench, and some cars
Yeah.
still need wrenches turned on them, man. You've got a good place to be.
somebody's got to fix computers on them.
Yeah.
All right. Macy, you want to do another one?
Greatest baseball player of all time.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Fair enough.
That was easy.
Yeah. Bo Jackson. No.
No, he's the best football player of all time.
I mean, according to Bo Jackson's pro football, he sure is, man. Got crushed it in that game. Ed, what you got going on?
How do you go about getting customers or advertising? What different sources do you use, and what's your most successful one?
Instagram's been pretty successful for me, and the art craft shows. The people are a lot more willing to buy something on the spot than if you're browsing the Instagram. You're like, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
think about it. But
How often do you go to the art craft shows?
I was doing one a month, but that one recently shut down like a month ago.
So when you're prepping for an art show, like how much do you typically bring with you?
Probably 20 pieces usually.
Okay.
And I make sure that everybody knows that I'm open. I can they can send me a photograph and I can turn that into either a pattern if they want that, or I can cut it out on a piece of wood.
Have you ever brought your scroll saw with you to an art show and made something for somebody on the spot?
I've thought about that, but that's a lot of lugging it around.
Yeah.
But I've brought like my iPhone and had it up so people could see how everything's made. Because when people see it, a lot of people don't believe that it's not CNC.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Macy, you want to ask another?
How hot is it in Florida right now? Toasty.
91.5 in here.
Ew, that's gross.
It's not bad. It never gets over 95.
That's
It's
gross
It's like
too.
95 in here right now.
Then the secret is that it rains every day from like 10 to 11?
It's like 3 to 5. It's when you get out of work.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just in time to hop on a motorcycle, right?
So are you in the Fort Lauderdale area?
In the West Palm area.
Okay. Yeah, I have family in like Sarasota and Punta Gorda, and like right around 4:00 it rains until about 7 or so, and
Yep.
like always every day on the dot. It's crazy.
Yep.
All right. STLF, wants to know what tools get the most and least amount of attention in your shop. And I think we know that your scroll saw is probably getting loved on left and right. But what else you got in that shop that you feel like if it was going on Craigslist, this would be the first thing to go?
Probably Sawzall.
Sawzall.
I got a table saw, router table. I love the router table. That's awesome. Got a benchtop bandsaw. I got a benchtop sander, miter saw. I use them all the time.
That's cool, man. I don't know. Is it Ed or Macy right now? I got distracted looking at questions.
What are some? Oh, good. What are some tools that you have like planned for the future that you'd like to get, whether it's an upgraded scroll saw or completely different?
Well, scroll saw. One day I'd love to have a Pegasus. I mean, that's the ultimate scroll saw for me. But my DeWalt it's solid. It's running good for me right now. It's almost brand new. But realistically, it would be table saw. I got an old Craftsman table saw. I want something with a
Little kick.
iron top. I want a fence. I want a nice fence. That's if I could get a nice fence for this one, I probably would just do that. But I don't see the point in spending $800 on a fence for a saw that I could just upgrade.
What kind of table saw you have in mind? Like Sawdust or like jet?
Sawdust would be the pinnacle. I've looked at Laguna and Harvey. I like those a lot.
Yeah, that Laguna is a whole lot of saw at about $1,800, man. I mean, I think Kyle Hayden's got one.
Yeah.
Is Bernie rocking a saw stop, or has he got a Laguna also?
I don't remember.
These are just the co-hosts on the show.
Don't sleep on that Harvey, though. I'll tell you what, like Harvey makes great saw and a lot of features that come with it instead of buying it separate too. So Harvey's pretty good. Their fence is a little different, but
a 3-horse Harvey can be had for like just a scotch over 2. That's compelling, man.
Yeah. And with all the dust collection hose stuff and the arm and it comes with their nice miter gauge that they sell for like $300. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Don't get me started on tools.
Macy, what you got going on over there?
Ed kind of took mine with asking about the upgraded Pegasus to the Pegasus.
Oh, my bad.
Should
told
me.
me.
Any issues with your DeWalt? I know that DeWalts are kind of notorious for having issues with like their switches, or has yours been smooth sailing?
Luckily, mine's been 100% smooth sailing. I got the Type 2 too, which is the one that everybody says they have issues with.
Mm-hmm.
But I use mine chronically and haven't had any sort of issues with it.
So when we started the show, we were talking a little bit about drilling tiny holes. How small of a blade is too small for what you try to accomplish?
And the smallest blade that I use is a 00, which is it's the smallest size that Pegasus makes. But I mean, that's if I could go smaller, I probably would for some things.
And then again, I only know the brute force and awkwardness method of scroll sawing, which is, like scribbling out a name and then shoving a piece of wood into my Harbor Freight one over here. But and mine all have pins on the top of the blade, so feeding those through a tiny hole, that's not really going to happen.
Yeah.
But for some of the people in the audience that might be a little less acquainted with scroll work, could you maybe tell us what to look for in their first sort of big kid scrolling working saw?
Well, you're going to want the articulating upper arm. I mean, that's the most important feature that you can get, and the variable speed. If those are the two things that I would say every scroll saw should have. It makes everything so much easier, much more user friendly. There's probably 4 different levels that you can get. The basic, like my old skill, Wen makes one. Who else makes them? Like Ryobi. Those are the standard cheapest ones you can get. And then like the DeWalt, the Delta, even the Wen makes a 21-inch that has the articulating upper arm. Those are the class above that, and then the class above that's the Excalibur, which is the Pegasus, it's the Seiko, it's the King. Those are the more strictly professional grade. They're not strictly professional. They're the cream of the crop.
Sure.
So,
Oh.
what? Oh, you go. You go.
Music or no music? What are you listening to?
I'm all over the board. I like country. I'm a metalhead. I love listening to metal in the shop. That's my go-to shop music. Louder, harder, the better.
Yeah. When I turn, I listen to a band called 3 Inches of Blood, mostly because all of their lyrics are like Dungeons and Dragons and wizards and preposterousness. And yeah, having that blasting and working on the lathe is good stuff. And did you tune in last week when we had Nothing Too Perfect in the shop? Nancy was here.
Nancy? Yeah.
Yeah. Meatloaf in the shop. I haven't even dabbled in that one yet, but I was like, oh, Bat Out of Hell plus wood turning.
Could be distracting.
She's on to something.
See, I just go straight into Disney hits. You know what I mean? I'm
I
serious.
have to
really
listen to
do.
that to and from dropping the kids off, so I have enough Disney music.
What other hobbies do you have? So aside from being in there scrolling, like, what do you also like to do to relax and whatever, have fun?
I mean, I like fishing. I love the outdoors. I kind of fell into the scroll saw looking for a hobby, something to do in my free time. But between the working in the shop, the family time and work, that's pretty much my whole calendar.
Gotcha. Do you ever want scrolling to become a full-time thing, or do you want to keep it a hobby?
I like it as a hobby. It'd be tough to maintain the if I got paid the same as my day job now as I did for scrolling, it'd be scrolling 100%, but it'd be tough to match that.
I'm sure. Working on high-end cars, yeah, I'm sure.
Hourly rate's just a little different.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
All right, Macy.
Favorite tool brand?
Favorite tool brand? I got a whole variety. Battery powered tools, I like Milwaukee. That's what I use at work all day. I put a lot of abuse on those. They're strong. I like my DeWalt. I love the Pegasus blades. I've used all sorts of scroll saw blades, and I always go back to Pegasus. But all my other, I don't have any matching tools in my shop. Everything's different.
So, speaking of Pegasus blades, are the tooth profiles on the spiral blades all the same across all of them, or is there? I know that some of them have like bottom teeth that go this way, and it's not like a bandsaw blade all the time.
The spiral blades, they always face down. The teeth always face down.
The whole way down.
Yeah.
Okay.
The modified.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Up and down. The modified.
Yeah, the flat blades, you can get reverse tooth, modified geometry. Those will have the teeth going different directions, but those are just the flat blades.
Gotcha. Ed, what you got over there? And then I think we're probably going to just start hammering out questions and rapid fire. So we still got 22 people in the audience right now. So guys, let's fill that question box up with some 1 or 2 sentence answers, and we're going to go rapid fire.
All right, so Stalefi wants to know, what's the best decision you've ever made personally or professionally?
That's deep. um, Probably moving to Florida. I moved to Florida about 15 years ago.
From where?
From New England.
What part of New
Lived
England?
in Maine for a while, Massachusetts for a while. So I had to get out of the cold.
Mhm.
Jumped on my chance to move to Florida, and I met my wife. Well, I met my wife up there, but we got married down here. And just my job, all the opportunities I got, the weather. I love the state.
That's
awesome.
That's awesome. Macy, you want to ask one more, and then we're going to go rapid fire?
Steffi wants to know what's your hat say on the front?
My hat? Oh.
Yep.
At the local fishing shop in Jensen. Snook Nook.
Support local.
Exactly.
All right. Are you ready for the lightning round? These are going to get pretty ridiculous pretty fast, bud.
Bring them on.
All right. Ninja Turtles 1 or 2, The Secret of the Ooze?
Is 3 the one that were in Japan?
Indeed.
Yeah, that's 2.
Where they went back in time. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go 3.
Turtles in Time. You got it. All right. What is the leveled out moisture content in hardwoods in Florida? I think was the question from Olive Orchard.
I honestly don't use hardwood all that often. I don't have a moisture meter, so I know my shop is 54% right now.
Good God,
moisture
just
meter
like
in my
sitting
shop.
there.
Huh?
You are in soup. Your shop is a bowl of soup.
91.5 degrees, 54% humidity.
Where's your snorkel? That's unreal, man. Okay, Hayden Custom Woodworks wants to know what's your favorite movie of all time? And then we're going to go start rotating Ed first and then Macy.
Favorite movie of all time? It's tough. Maybe Goonies.
Dude,
Ooh, Goonies is a good one. Yeah.
Seriously.
Lowe's, Home Depot, or Menards?
We don't have Menards. I usually go to Home Depot. I got a Lowe's closer to me, but I usually drive by and go to Home Depot. No preference, just that's where I naturally go to.
50 little horses or one big ass duck?
Oh yeah, you got
In a fight to the death, would you like to fight 50 horses the size of a duck or one duck the size of a horse?
A duck the size of a horse. I think I could take it.
Ducks are such jerks, though, and it would be huge. Are you freaking kidding me, man? All right, let's see here. Nintendo or PlayStation?
Nintendo.
Cool.
Jeff from Maker's Way said, "Where do babies come from?"
Storks.
Storks,
That's
obviously.
exactly right.
Dream car.
Dream car. Probably be a pickup. Probably a nice pickup truck.
Excellent. Let's see here. Is a hot dog a taco or a sandwich?
It's a sandwich. It's bread.
Taco.
Bread.
You even turn your head sideways when you bite it.
Maybe you do.
Oh, I'm just saying. It's a taco. All right, what you got, Ed?
All right, Bernie wants to know legs as long as fingers or fingers as long as legs.
Probably legs as long as fingers. Like
itty bitty little.
You can still get around.
Every time you took a step,
like
somebody would
Yosemite
play
Sam.
the top two keys on a piano. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, like Yosemite Sam.
All right, Macy, what you got?
Early riser or night owl?
I'd say night owl.
That's awesome. Pizza or tacos?
Tacos.
What's the meaning of life?
I don't know. That's a little deep.
Perfect answer.
Coffee or beer?
That's tough. I'd probably go with beer.
What
I
kind of
love it.
beer?
I like IPAs. I'm not that guy, though. Everybody should drink IPAs. You need to like this.
And I make beer. Well, I own a brewery, and I don't like IPAs. Windows or doors, according to Woolly Paddles?
Doors.
Man likes doors.
Tacos or fajitas?
Tacos. It's always going to be tacos.
Big fish story?
Big fish story?
The
You have a
hat.
big-
So you had the hat fishing
Yeah,
tackle. So
It's been a while. I haven't gotten anything big in a long time. Maybe the sailfish a couple of years ago.
a sailfish. That's pretty badass.
That's really cool. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Let's see here. Okay, how about this one? What is your favorite project to date? We talked a little bit about that house, and I don't know, maybe I didn't delete it. Is there any other one that stands out to you that you'd like to remark on?
The lionfish that I did, that was a lot of fun. But it's probably a toss-up between the house and the lionfish.
Olive Orchard's getting real rowdy in the chat out there, boys and girls.
That is so funny. Oh, I love it. Okay, what is your favorite thing to do with your kids?
We enjoy taking them to the theme parks. We got all the theme parks in Florida. They're not that far away. They're probably about 2 hours from here. That's always awesome to see their faces anytime we go there.
Heck yeah.
Does It's a Small World still exist at Disney World?
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
revamped. It's all new.
Okay, so it's not terrifying marionettes?
It's still terrifying marionettes, but they're just
Okay.
Upgraded.
Oh, slightly more realistic terrifying marionettes.
Exactly.
And surround sound instead of one tiny speaker right next to the water. Gotcha. Macy, what you got going on?
How many kids and how old?
I got 2 kids. They're both about to turn 3 and 5.
That is awesome. That's a tough spread. Let's see here. Ocean or lake
Enjoy it.
vacation?
Ocean.
What's your favorite water sport or activity to do?
Probably fishing.
Fishing? On the shore or on a boat?
Either or. I don't have a boat, so I'd have to bum a ride from somebody. But
Yeah.
either way, I'm
All right.
happy.
If you could have one, would you choose a CNC or a laser?
Probably a laser. No particular reason.
Just sounds cool, right?
Something.
How
A
far
laser
away?
applies. Go ahead.
How far away are you from Disney?
About 2 hours.
All right. Would you prefer to fly or drive?
I hate to fly. I drive.
What is your fondest childhood memory?
Hit me with the deep ones tonight. Yeah, I don't know. It caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that one. I don't know. I have a bunch of them. I just can't. Having to
His
bring
childhood was
Pick one.
dope. The whole thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Everything.
Coffee or energy drinks? We'll just change.
Coffee.
Change it. Okay.
All right. Predator or Alien?
What about Predator versus Alien?
Can't blame you. Macy, what you got?
State you would love to visit.
State that I would love to visit. I went to the South Carolina pretty recently. That was a lot of fun. A state that I haven't visited. Probably somewhere around there. I like the coastline. Maybe somewhere in the mountains too. I haven't really been near the Rockies at all ever. It'd be something to see.
All right. Well, we got about 5 minutes left in the show. And so I think a question that I haven't asked before, but I think I should start asking is, what did we miss? What did we not ask you about that you need to make sure that the people that are watching tonight know about?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of hit on a lot of the places that I was thinking.
That's awesome. Well, that means that we did a good job, right?
Yeah.
Go team. Go team.
Go team. Go.
Yes. Go team. Go. Way to go. All right. So, Scott, you are familiar with how we do our drawing at the end of the show. We got 19 people. So if you have a pen or a pencil proximal to you, if not, go fumble around in your shop looking for one. This man knows right where he keeps it. Okay. So I'm thinking we pick a number between 1 and 25. Maker's Way already guessed 17, so don't pick 17.
Your shop is, the backlay of your shop is very nice, by the way. I thought it was like
Yeah,
an
he
office.
cleaned up for us. It's so nice in there.
Never liked that.
I literally have about 9 inches of bowl shavings sitting on the floor just behind this camera. It's pretty exciting. All right, did you get your number written down?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. I got 7, 4, 9, 1,
I see it.
15, 3.
3.
Woolly Paddles winner, chicken dinner. That is awesome. And then I screamed so loud that Ed's internet broke. That's pretty impressive. All right, Sam, we'll DM you after the show, and we'll get a $20 gift card to George Supply Company, our generous sponsors for this show. We're going to give them one more plug, but Scott's awesome. He takes great care of us. He takes great care of the woodworking community, and being able to build a page on his site so that you can send your followers in there and they can help support you is one of the reasons why we love working with Scott. Speaking of great Scots, Scott, it was awesome having you on the show this evening. We had a good couple of laughs. You're completely wrong about hot dogs being a sandwich, and I am completely jealous of your aptitude with the scroll saw, man, especially with 0 floating parts. That's just so rad. Ed and Macy?
Yeah, you are incredibly talented. Beautiful work, and keep up the strong work.
Yeah, I for real look forward to seeing what else you make that's blows my mind, because going through your page, I don't do anything like that, and I was amazed by it. So I was kind of stuck on your page for a hot minute.
Appreciate that.
Keep up the good work, for real. Put
Will do.
more of that out into the world.
All right, Scott, send us off with a motivational phrase or something that gets you stoked to get out of bed and run into the shop as fast as possible. What you got?
Coffee's on.
Yeah, all right, man. That sounds good. All right, boys and girls, we are just shy of 11 o'clock Central. That means that this show has completed. But if you tune in next week, same bat time, same bat channel, we've got all kinds of cool kids coming. Check the schedule. I'm TJ. That's Macy. That's Ed back in here. This is Scott. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Oh, did your watchy get mixed up? Ed confused. We'll see y'all next week. Thank you for watching Sawdust Talk this evening. Have a lovely rest of the week, and go get out in that shop and make something.
Appreciate it.